Welcome back everybody. Happy New Year to all my subscribers and all my viewers as well. Hope you all had a nice little break. What we've got here is broad beans. Now if you'd watched the last video, I think it was, or the video before that, the disaster with the frosts, it completely wiped them all out. So I'm going to be sowing a few more, a couple of trays. I'll keep them in the greenhouse, keep a little cover on. I've got my little night heater just to take the chill off if the temperature does drop too low, and hopefully these should grow. Pop them in on this side like so. Now, there's a few different things that you can sow in January. So I'm going to be doing a few little sowings today, just to try and get ahead. Now, all I'll do with these is I'll just fill the trough up underneath with water and just let them soak the water up on their own. I'll probably put a little lid over the top. Let's put them over there out of the way. Now in here, we're going to be growing some lamb's lettuce. Now again, this will just stay in the greenhouse. There's not as many seeds in there as I thought. Just sprinkle them over the top. Like so. That's the end of that packet. Just lightly cover them. Now if you notice, brilliant idea. Made a video about this a while back, last year. Reusing fruit punnets. Got to make sure they've got the drainage holes, because some of them don't have drainage holes in the sides and the bottom. But yeah, ideal way of recycling. And don't forget the label. We're also going to do some cress, and then we'll get onto the flowers. Now I did say they were cress, didn't I? Well, I got that wrong. They're actually mustard seeds. What I was thinking of is I need to order or go and buy some more cress seeds. So anyway, onto the flowers. Antirrhinums, or antirrhinum, however you want to pronounce it, or Snapdragons, as they're also known. Now these can be sown any time between January and the end of March. I'm going for the beginning of January. That's it. Nearly run out of sieved compost. There you go. Have to do some more in a little while. That'll do them. Now if you remember the sweet peas that I sowed, I think it was November, and then when I cleaned the the greenhouse out, I left them outside, and then it all snowed. So we brought them back in. I've left them for a week or so, but they do look a little bit leggy. The frost hasn't killed them. They've just all flopped over. So I'm going to leave them on the side anyway, see what happens. But I don't hold out much hope. A couple of them have started to go really brown down the bottom. So, and very, what's the word? Very stringy. So I don't hold out much hope for them at all. So I'm going to sow some more. I'm going to do it slightly different. I'm going to be sowing them in toilet rolls. Because so I've read, sweet peas don't like their roots being touched and moved around too much. So we're going to use the loo rolls. What I've done, I've put a little bit of twine around the outside to try and bring them together. Because as you know, the half seed trays and full seed trays, they tend to slope out, which means everything will just fall all over the place. So we've tied these in as a nice little block. And I'm going to put two seeds, or should we go three? Let's go three, I've got plenty. And I'm going to cover each one up as I do it. The reason being, even though the seeds are quite big, there's a chance you'll forget which ones you've done and which ones you haven't. So if you cover them up as you go along, then you know where you are. Now I haven't soaked these seeds. You can soak them for 24 hours, but personally, I don't bother. And again, these will just go in a tray of water till they've soaked up. Then I'll empty the tray of water, because there's nothing worse than seeds sitting in stagnant water, especially when it's cold. Right, that's them done. Now the only other thing I want to sow today, now I know it's a bit early, but Carolina Reaper peppers. Now I sowed these last year and it took nearly 6 or 7 months before I actually got any peppers. I think it's because I sowed them at the end of February. And by the time it got to sort of December, I had fruits, but they weren't turning red. By that time, they'd all died off. So I'm going to try a month earlier, or 2 months earlier. I'm going to sow some in here. I'm going to put them indoors. I'm going to put them under light. And hopefully, given the extra 2 months, I may, towards the end of the year, get some ripe Carolina Reaper peppers. And I'm going to sow 2 per station and see what we get. And I'll keep you updated, because these do take a long time to germinate. So yeah, that is my sowing for today. But there is one other thing that I want to do. Now the other little job I want to do today is go through this little bed here. Now I'm going to leave the couple of Swedes in, the 2 Swedes I've got left. I'll leave them in. But I want to go through these parsnips and these carrots. Now, I'm not holding out for great things. Most of the foliage has died back now, so let's get the gloves on and see what we can find. Now this row was the purple row. Very disappointing. Now, although I sowed them quite close together, they normally, for some reason, push themselves. Oh, that one's not too bad for a baby carrot, I suppose. They normally push themselves apart, but it has been a bit of a strange year, to say the least. Well, last year, should I say. Oh, there's nothing in there. Well, I say nothing, there's a few tiddlers. Right, move on to the next row. Now, I can't remember what variety I put. These are the yellow ones. Again, they're coming up really small. I can't seem to grow a big carrot this year for some reason. Last year. I'm going to have to try a little bit harder this year, I think. A few weeds, clear them up later. Well, that one's not too bad. A little bit green around the top, but that one's been eaten. It's been all eaten around there. We'll give them a wash and have a little look and see what we get. I think next year I'm going to have to, or this year, I keep saying that, don't I? Then again, we are only 2 days into this year. I'll have to space them a little bit wider. Right, so we've got one more row and then on to the parsnips. Now, on the whole, very disappointed. I don't think we may get 1 mil out of that, if we're lucky, but we'll get them washed up and I'll show you afterwards. Now, the parsnips. Well, there's not a lot. Saying that, let's have a little look. Oh, no. All legs and arms. Yeah, at the moment they are coming up very, very small. So, what did we get once we've washed it all up? It's on the table. Let's have a look. Oh, that's better. Quite disappointing actually. Parsnips, not too bad. It pretty much what I expected was going to come out of the ground. Most of them quite small. So, yeah. Couple that hasn't come out too bad. Don't know what happened with that one. But here you go. So we may get a couple of mils. That's another one. So now the carrots. On the other hand, are even worse. That's it. And most of them have been eaten away. Now I did find that, like some of the potatoes, they've gone to mush. Now I put that down to two reasons. One, the mushiness is because of all the water, the same as the potatoes. And I think the growth is down to two factors. One, I sown them too close together again, but I do normally get a couple of big ones when I do it this way, but obviously not this year. And I think the other reason was I had the random squash plant that went along the back of the fence that covered these. Now I was hoping that these would grow through, but evidently they haven't. But I am being optimistic about this year. I'm going to change a couple of things. The way I sow them. I'm going to leave a bit more space in between them. I'm going to put a bit more manure and fertiliser in the ground, especially in the garden. And hopefully we should get a good bumper crop. But we can only but try. It's another year, another growing experience. So I'll catch up with you very soon. Take care all, and happy gardening.